They didn't ask you who you wanted to be. They programmed you. Slowly, quietly, efficiently. Every time you were told, be nice. Every time you were warned, don't upset them. Every time you felt that knot in your stomach when someone frowned at you. Piece by piece, they killed your instinct for power and replaced it with an instinct for approval. You weren't born a people pleaser. You were trained to be obedient, trained to smile when you were angry, trained to apologize when you were the one betrayed. Look at your life. How many times have you swallowed your words just to keep the peace? How many times have you said, it's okay, when it was not okay at all? This is not kindness. This is self-erasure. The world taught you that your survival depends on being liked. Machiavelli would laugh at that. In a world built on interests, leverage, and fear, they told you the goal was to be nice. Convenient, isn't it? The softer you became, the easier you were to handle. The more you needed their approval, the less you trusted your own judgment. You became predictable, harmless, safe. And in a predatory world, safe is just another word for prey. So here you are now, exhausted, resentful, overextended, always there for everyone. No one truly there for you. You think you're kind, but underneath that kindness lives a locked-up rage, an unlived life. I'm not here to comfort that version of you. I'm here to kill it, to put a mirror in front of you and say, this is the slave they built. The question is simple. Do you keep serving the training, or do you start becoming dangerous? Because until you choose danger over obedience, you will never touch your real, uncorrupted power waiting inside. Who trained you and why? You didn't design this weakness. Others did. Think back. The first people who taught you to betray yourself were not enemies. They were the ones you called home. Parents who sighed when you said no, who went cold when you disagreed, who rewarded you when you obeyed. You learned fast. Love is conditional. Approval is currency. Then came school. You were praised for being quiet, compliant, cooperative. Not for thinking sharply, not for speaking with a spine. The loud, difficult kids were punished, but they were free. You were the good one, and you paid for that badge with your voice. Then you entered the adult world. Bosses love people like you, always ready, always available, always saying yes, even when it drains you. Friends figured it out too. Ask you for favors, dump their problems, disappear when you need them. Why? Because you trained them. Every time you folded, every time you said, it's fine, when it cut you. Every time you laughed off disrespect because you didn't want to make things weird. Understand something. People who benefit from your weakness have no incentive to help you become strong. They prefer you soft, agreeable, permanently apologizing. From a Machiavellian lens, you are a perfect asset, predictable, guilt-driven, afraid of conflict. You move to protect their comfort, not your own interests. That's why they keep reminding you, don't be selfish, don't be rude, don't be difficult. Translation: don't become powerful. Don't become someone who can walk away. Right now, you start breaking this script. I want you to write in the comments, I choose power over approval. Type it like a declaration of war, because that's what this really is. A war between the version of you they trained and the version of you that refuses to kneel ever again. The cost of pleasing, how it quietly destroys you. You think people-pleasing keeps you safe, but look closely at the bill you're paying. Start with your energy. How many nights have you gone to bed drained, not from building your own life, but from carrying everyone else's? You call it being supportive. In reality, it's self-abandonment on repeat. Then your time. Your plans are the first to die when someone else demands your attention. You cancel your priorities to rescue people who would never bleed like that for you. You say you don't mind, but your life is a graveyard of things you wanted to do and never did, because someone always needed you more. Now look at your self-respect. Every time you silence yourself to keep someone comfortable, a piece of you stops believing you matter. You become a ghost in your own story, present, but never central. Dark psychology is simple here. Users, narcissists, manipulators, they all scan the room for the easiest source of supply. The one who struggles to say no, the one who flinches at anger, the one who feels guilty for existing with their own needs. That has been you, not by nature, by training. You're not loved for your heart, you're tolerated for your usefulness. And the people you break yourself for, they feel no urgency to change. Why would they? The tap of your effort never stops running, so your resentment grows. You smile while secretly seething. You agree while secretly hating them and hating yourself more. That's the true cost. Not just exhaustion, but corruption. You become bitter, twisted, suspicious of everyone, because deep down you know you've allowed them to feed on you. This is why people-pleasers rarely find real loyalty. The world senses what you don't. If you won't protect yourself, why should anyone else? Machiavellian reframe: power over likability. You've been serving the wrong master your entire life. Being liked. Every decision, every softened word, every fake laugh has been a sacrifice laid on that altar. And what has it bought you? Temporary comfort, fragile connections, people who like you but don't respect you, don't fear losing you, don't move differently because you exist. Machiavelli would tell you plainly, it is safer to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. In modern terms, it is better to be respected than liked, because respect changes how people act around you. Likability just means you're entertaining, convenient, non-threatening. Power begins the day you stop optimizing for their feelings and start optimizing for your results. When you walk into a room, your question can no longer be, do they like me? That is the question of a servant. Your question must become, do I have leverage here? Am I moving closer to what I want? This doesn't mean becoming rude, loud, or theatrical. Real power is often quiet, strategic. You can still smile, still charm, still be gracious, but now it's a tactic, not a plea. You are no longer performing for their approval. You are managing their perception. One is begging, the other is ruling. From this moment on, any situation you're in, you will measure differently. If being honest risks their approval but protects your self-respect, you choose honesty. If saying no means they sulk, distance themselves, or talk behind your back, you let them. You are done paying emotional blackmail. Let them think you're cold. Let them whisper that you've changed. Good. You are no longer an open buffet. You are becoming a locked room with a guarded key, and only those who bring real value get inside. Boundaries as weapons, saying no without apology. Boundaries are not polite suggestions. They are walls with teeth. And you've been living like a house with all the doors unlocked, lights on, open 24/7 sign glowing in the dark. No wonder everyone walks in, tracks dirt over your floors, takes what they want and leaves without even closing the door behind them. That ends now. From this point forward, no becomes one of your sharpest weapons, not screamed, not over-explained, just calmly delivered and left there, like a line carved into stone. People-pleasers think boundaries are negotiations. They say, "I'm sorry, but I can't," then spill excuses, then panic if the other person looks disappointed. You won't do that anymore. A Machiavellian mind understands this. When you set a boundary, you are running a test. Whoever respects it is safe to keep near. Whoever pushes it has identified themselves as a threat. Simple. When you say no and someone sulks, guilt trips, or suddenly withdraws, good. They've exposed themselves. You don't chase them. You let them go. You allow loss, because you understand something they don't. You are not afraid of empty space anymore. Empty space can be filled with power, projects, new alliances. Your old life was crowded, not rich. Boundaries begin to fix that. From now on, every yes you give must cost something. Your time, your focus, your energy. Your yes is not cheap. When you agree to something, it's because it serves your values or your long-term strategy, not because you're scared to disappoint. Right now, anchor this in your nervous system. Go to the comments and write, "I choose power over approval." Write it like a contract with yourself, because once you do, every boundary you draw stops being a question and starts becoming law. Emotional detachment. How to stop caring about their reactions. You've been trained to read faces like a gambler reads cards. A slight change in tone and your stomach drops. A delayed reply and your mind spirals. A cold look and you start editing yourself in real time. That's not intuition. That's addiction. You're addicted to other people's emotional weather. They frown, you panic. They sigh, you apologize. They withdraw, you chase. Every tiny reaction from them becomes a command your nervous system obeys without question. This is where you start breaking that chain. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means their reactions stop being your orders. You stop taking every raised eyebrow as a verdict on your worth. Back to Machiavelli. The one who controls their expression controls the room. The one who reacts least rules most. You cannot be untouchable if every look, every silence, every shift in mood hits you like a bullet. So you start practicing something ruthless. You let people be upset with you, and you do nothing to fix it. You don't over-explain. You don't send the long paragraph to clear the air. You don't twist yourself into a softer shape so they don't have to confront their own emotions. If they are angry, let them be angry. If they are disappointed, let them sit in it. Their feeling is their responsibility, not your assignment. The more you tolerate someone being displeased with you, the more solid your spine becomes. At first, your body will shake. That's just old training screaming. Let it scream. You're rewiring yourself to prioritize your judgment over their approval. One day, you will notice something. The same moods, the same guilt trips, the same manipulative silence that used to control you, now barely move your pulse. And on that day, you won't just feel different. You will finally be dangerous. Strategic selfishness. Choosing yourself first without guilt. They taught you that choosing yourself is selfish, but look around. Everyone else is already doing it. Just more quietly, more cleverly, without announcing it like you do with your guilty apologies. The truth is brutal. In a world where everyone protects their own interests, the only real villain is the one person who refuses to protect theirs. That has been you. You call it being selfless, but Machiavellian logic calls it what it is: negligence. You've been neglecting your own life, your own dreams, your own body, your own mind, to keep feeding other people's comfort. Strategic selfishness is different. It is not chaos. It is not cruelty. It is order. It is the decision to place your oxygen mask on first, not because you don't care if others live, but because you refuse to die with lungs full of other people's expectations. From now on, before you say yes, you ask one question. What does this cost me? And what does it build for me? If the cost is high and the return is nothing but temporary approval, the answer is no. If helping someone pulls you away from your mission, the answer is no. If an invitation drains your focus, the answer is no. No guilt, no long speech, just a quiet, firm rejection in favor of your priorities. Dark psychology twist. When you start choosing yourself, the parasites will scream the loudest. They will call you selfish, disloyal, arrogant. Let them. That's just the sound of a food source being cut off. The people who truly care for you will adapt to the new you and respect your focus. The ones who only wanted your energy will fall away. Good. Less noise. More room. Because your life is not a charity. It is a fortress under new management. You. Facing the backlash, tests, guilt trips, and social punishment. The moment you stop playing the role they wrote for you, the system will start to glitch. Don't romanticize this. There will be backlash, guilt trips, silent treatment, sudden distance. People who are perfectly comfortable draining you will act shocked, offended, even wounded the second you stop bleeding on command. That is not a sign you're doing something wrong. That is proof the spell is breaking. Dark psychology says this clearly. When a source of control stops responding to the usual buttons, the controller escalates. They might say, "You've changed," hoping you'll flinch and rush to prove you haven't. They might talk about you to others, painting you as cold, selfish, ungrateful. They might withdraw their affection to see if you'll chase it like a starving dog. You will not. You're no longer that hungry. A Machiavellian mind expects tests. Every backlash is data. When you say no and someone attacks, you learn who they really were. When you pull your energy back and they try to shame you, you see their true dependence on your weakness. Your job is not to argue, explain, or convince them you're still good. Your job is to hold the line. Let them be disappointed. Let them misinterpret you. Let them sit with the reality that you are no longer easy to use. Yes, some alliances will die. Let them. A kingdom that falls apart the moment you stop pleasing was never your kingdom. It was your prison. Right now, reinforce this shift. Go to the comments and write, "I choose power over approval." Not as a cute quote, but as a shield. Because every time someone tries to drag you back into the old script, you will remember this. Their disapproval cannot kill you, but your self-betrayal can. The new identity, from pleaser to strategist. The person you were is not the person you have to stay. Up until now, your identity has been built on being available, agreeable, and easy to reach. That version of you dies tonight. From here on, you are no longer the emotional convenience store that never closes. You are a fortress with limited access. Fewer people get your time, even fewer get your trust. Almost no one gets your vulnerability. You start moving like a strategist, not a servant. You answer slowly. You say less. You stop volunteering explanations that no one asked for. Your new default is not yes, it's let me think. You become selective with where you show warmth, where you show silence, and where you show teeth. People will feel the difference before they understand it. They'll notice you no longer rush to fill every awkward pause. You no longer jump to fix every problem. You no longer laugh at every joke made at your expense. You're not performing, you're observing. Machiavellian power is built on this, knowing more than you say and feeling less than they think. Your value rises as your access drops. The more you respect your own time, the more others are forced to respect it too. The more you protect your peace, the more chaotic, demanding people fall away. You stop chasing invitations and start creating your own tables. Your presence becomes rare, and therefore, heavier. Understand this clearly. You are not becoming cruel, you are becoming calibrated. You are no longer shaped by whoever shouts the loudest. You are shaped by your mission. Every day you ask one question: does this version of me serve my power or their comfort? The old you answered to everyone. The new you answers only to your future. Final execution order. This is the part where we stop talking about who you are and start deciding who survives. Up until now, you've watched yourself from a distance, like a character in a story you didn't write. The obedient one, the apologetic one, the one who bends, the one who explains, the one who would rather burn quietly than make anyone else feel a moment of discomfort. That character dies here, not gently, not with a soft goodbye, with intent, with precision, with a level of coldness they never trained you to have. Understand this. You are not just changing habits, you are overthrowing a regime inside your own mind. Every time you swallowed your anger, every time you gave a second chance to someone who earned none, every time you laughed at a joke that cut you, those moments built a dictator in your psyche called approval. It sits on a throne made of your yeses. It rules you with one weapon: fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being rejected, fear of not being good. Machiavellian power demands that you dethrone that tyrant, and that requires an execution order. So listen carefully, because what I'm about to say will decide the next decade of your life. You will no longer say yes while your body screams no. If your gut resists, that is the vote. The answer is no. You will no longer stay in conversations, friendships, situationships, or jobs where you must constantly shrink to be tolerated. Any role that requires your self-betrayal to function is not a role, it is a cage. You will no longer explain your boundaries to people who benefit from you not having any. You say it once, clearly. If they understand, good. If they pretend not to, they are not confused. They are invested in your confusion. You will no longer chase after people who choose to misunderstand you. Let them. Let them tell their version. Let them dramatize your distance. Let them narrate their wounds. While they talk, you build, you move, you advance. Their stories about you will not pay your bills, heal your mind, or protect your peace. Their comfort is not your mission anymore. You will begin to do things that the old you would be terrified of. You will say, "I'm not available." You will answer messages late or not at all. You will turn your phone off and feel the panic rise, the fear that someone might be disappointed. And you will sit through that panic like a soldier sitting through gunfire, knowing that on the other side is a version of you who doesn't shake so easily. You will disappoint people. That is guaranteed. Some will leave. Good. Let the exodus happen. Power is not built by keeping everyone. Power is built by keeping the right ones and letting the rest filter themselves out. You will notice something brutal but freeing. The more you respect your standards, the more the wrong people disappear on their own. They don't like you when you are not a vending machine for their needs. Perfect. You are not here to be liked by everyone. You are here to be unmovable in a world that profits from your instability. Remember the title burned into this whole transformation. Kill the people pleaser they trained you to be. Not gently correct, not softly adjust. Kill. That means you stop identifying with that role at all. When your old instincts rise, when you feel the urge to soften your truth, to accept crumbs, to chase after someone pulling away, you don't call it just how I am. You call it what it is. A ghost. A leftover program. A dead version trying to crawl back into power. And you choose differently. Again and again until it sticks. So here is your final ritual. When this ends, I want you to go to the comments and write, "I choose power over approval." Not as a quote you liked, as a line you are carving into the floor of your life. Every time you type it, every time you see it, every time you repeat it in your head when your hands start to shake saying no, you are driving a stake deeper into the heart of that old identity. One last thing. If you felt something shift while listening, if a part of you woke up that you thought was gone, don't let it fall back asleep. Hit like so this message is bookmarked in your mind. Subscribe so this isn't the last time someone speaks to the dangerous part of you instead of the obedient one. Turn on notifications because you don't just need motivation, you need consistent recalibration. They trained you to be a people pleaser. Now you train yourself to be untouchable. And from this moment forward, every choice you make will answer one question. Am I feeding my weakness or my power?